James Madison doesn't get the same spotlight as Washington or Jefferson, mostly because he wasn't flashy. He was short, quiet, and looked like a man who lost fights with strong breezes. But don't be fooled. This guy practically engineered the US government like it was a long-term science project. First myth, Madison was just another founding father in a powdered wig. Wrong. He's called the father of the Constitution for a reason. When the old Articles of Confederation collapsed like a cheap folding chair, Madison showed up with a detailed blueprint for how the new government should work. Checks and balances, 3 branches. He helped bake that cake. Second myth, Madison was timid. Absolutely not. He just preferred wielding his power on paper instead of screaming on a balcony. Madison's pen started more political earthquakes than most generals did with artillery. He also co-wrote the Federalist Papers, persuasive essays that convinced skeptical Americans to adopt the Constitution. Alexander Hamilton was the rapper, but Madison was the ghostwriter. Then there's his wife, Dolly Madison, a social powerhouse who basically turned Washington, D.C. into the political networking capital of America. She threw the parties, smoothed the egos, and saved the famous portrait of George Washington during the War of 1812. Together, they were political cosplay's first power couple. Speaking of that war, Madison was president when America declared it against Britain. Critics said he wasn't tough enough for conflict, until the British marched into D.C., burned down the White House, and Madison still refused to fold. Sure, it wasn't America's smoothest war, but it proved the young nation could take a punch and keep swinging. Another myth, Madison hated religious freedom. Actually, he championed it. He helped write the Virginia Statute for Religious Freedom, shaping the First Amendment. He believed government should stay out of your church business. Radical stuff for 18th century politics. Madison even argued against too much executive power. Ironically, future presidents treated that advice like the terms and conditions nobody reads. So why isn't Madison worshipped like Washington? Because he didn't brag. He built a government designed to outlive drama, and then stepped back to let it work. He wasn't the loud leader. He was the quiet architect, and sometimes, the person who draws the blueprint is more important than the one who hangs the banner. If you enjoyed this trip down the rabbit hole, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Smart History for Dumb Times. And if you feel like fueling more historical deep dives, the link to buy me a coffee is in my bio.